Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
And welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Gwen Tompkins, host of the radio program Music Inside Out, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Welcome, Ms. Gwen.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Happy to be here.
And well, absolutely, we're thrilled you're here. Poppy Tooker, yay! Also on WWNO, Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Visual and performance artist Jose Torres Tama, here to talk about his Taco Truck Theater performing this weekend at the New Orleans Museum of Art. Welcome, Jose. Hello.
Glad to be here.
Hey. And later on, we'll be visiting with the New Orleans Ragtime Festival's Tonya Echo, and we have some very special ragtime performances. But we also want to mention that Alan Mason will be back with us next week. And first up, Poppy.
Well, everybody knows that it is April now. However, March Madness has somehow not ended in New Orleans because the crew of Red Bean is carrying it on tomorrow with their Bean Madness. Now, 57 restaurants in New Orleans competed. 3,400 New Orleanians voted for who's got the best red beans. The championship is now down to Uptown's favorite, Joey K's, and upstart from New Orleans East, My Mama's Cornbread Chicken and Waffles. So tomorrow from 4 until 7 at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum, for just a $15 donation, it all goes to charity. You get live music, beer, and beans. I mean, what else do we need in New Orleans to have some fun?
True.
So tomorrow, I'll see you at SoFab. And then next weekend, coming up, French Quarter Fest. And there's festivals everywhere. It's Ferret Street Festival this weekend. There's a festival going on over at Delgado this weekend. Well, next weekend, when you're planning what you're going to eat, you can still stay in a reasonably healthy frame of mind if you eat fit NOLA style. And I want to run through the dishes that qualify. Jackson Square is going to have Galatoire's shrimp remoulade and Giacomo's crab and artichoke citrus salad. Tujacs will be there serving their marinated crab claw remoulade. Then we'll go over to the Mint, and you've got Eat Fit NOLA 14 Parishes jerk chicken. On the riverfront, the Praline Connections Veggie Plate qualifies, which is their mustard greens, Crowder peas, and okra. The Daily Beat will have, listen how interesting, fresh mango spring rolls with peanut ginger dressing and avocado toast with egg. Sobu is going to be serving pig Latin tacos. Doesn't sound like it qualifies, but it does. GW Finn's fish tacos, and at the Jack's Brewery, this sounds so good, Company Burger, a bunless turkey burger with arugula green goddess dressing and tomato jam. So get ready to eat fit NOLA at the French Quarter Fest next weekend. And this weekend, I've got some brunch suggestions. You know, when Palador 511 opened several years ago, I went. The food was delicious, but I haven't been in that neighborhood a lot. I went for brunch. They have a brunch that is out of this world. It's a beautiful space with those huge windows to sit in the daylight. And the food we had, yellowfin tuna crudo, oh my gosh, with avocado and pistachio, fennel lime vinaigrette. The huevos rancheros was perfect. The most delicious thing I just about ever ate, chilled beet soup with little hot fried shoestring potatoes and creme fraiche garnished with mint and dill. It was so good. A spicy breakfast pizza with spicy Marzano tomato sauce, farm egg, mascarpone, and wild arugula. A couple of those items are also on the dinner menu. There's fresh pastas. Go to Paladar 511 if you haven't before. And also in the same neighborhood, in Bywater, the American Bistro, formerly Maritz's, has just opened. That's Nina Compton of Compare La Pen. She just started this week serving Saturdays and Sundays, 10:30 until 2, a brunch chicken liver parfait with fresh berries and rye granola? How about a breakfast corn dog with cane syrup, crispy rice with bacon, maitake, and yolk jam? I don't even know what that is. Or you can get a proper breakfast, an English breakfast, Louisiana style. 2 eggs, bacon, boudin noir, baked beans, toast, and roasted potatoes. Ooh.
We should point out they're both pretty much like a stone's throw from Noka.
Yes.
Right there.
Well, they guess
pretty close.
right there, right across the parking lot from Noka is where the American Bistro is, which was Maritz's. So, lots of good eating in the Bywater and elsewhere.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Peg.
And we talked to Miss Gwen, also talking about a foreshadowing French Quarter Festival with the music, right?
That's absolutely right. I mean, I won't be here with you all next week, so I want to get it all in now, actually. And Poppy's absolutely right. You can get great food, but if you want to dance some of that food off, whether it's healthy or not, you know, there are dance lessons actually at French Quarter Festival for Zydeco and Cajun dance. So I'm going to try that, actually. I really am. I love it. But there are some wonderful music acts that you all, I might see you at, actually. I mean, the truth is, you know, every act is going to be great, and everyone has their own preferences for music, but there are a few that I think I'm going to try to visit, and I hope to see you there. On Thursday at the Chevron Cajun Zydeco Showcase, there's going to be Nathan Williams and the Zydeco Cha-Chas playing, and they're going to be followed by the Lost Bayou Ramblers. It's a great combination.
Grammy Award winners.
Yes.
Indeed, they're Grammy Award winners. The Ramblers won for Kalinda, their album Kalinda from 2017, and they're pretty fantastic.
They're really fantastic.
And I have to say, once I saw Nathan Williams and the Zydeco Cha-Chas live on stage, and I felt as if I was seeing something magnificent that in nature that I had never seen before. It's like seeing a brand new bird or a brand new tree or something like that. It was remarkable, you know. On Friday, I'm going with combinations now. So on Friday, I would recommend Bonorama, which is a wonderful group. They've got a new album out called Hot Like Fire, and followed by Walter Wolfman Washington, who also has a new album out. It's actually going to be available April 20th. That album is called My Future Is My Past, and he's doing all kinds of standards and really beautiful songs from really beautiful ballads, actually, written by David Egan, who's also from Louisiana, and actually a duet with Irma Thomas on one of them. It's going to be fantastic. And then if you are still in the funk mood after Walter Wolfman Washington, there's always Chocolate Milk, and they're going to be closing out that stage. Since I was a kid. Yeah. Oh my gosh, even now when somebody says chocolate milk, I never think of the beverage, I think of the band, you know? I think so, actually, you know? And so this is all going to be on the Abita Beer stage. It's going to be fantastic. That's Friday. Then on Saturday, I'm going to recommend going back to basics because, you know, the French Quarter Festival began as a traditional jazz festival. And, you know, I love traditional jazz, as I'm sure most people here do. And over on the Jack Daniels stage in the morning at 11 a.m. is going to be Don Vappy and the Creole Serenaders. And I can't say enough about Don Vappy.
And you're going to be interviewing him at Jazz Fest.
I will. I'll be interviewing him at Jazz Fest.
Too.
Oh, a great
Sweet
gentleman.
guy.
Oh, yes, indeed. And I've had him on the show on Music Inside Out. He's been fantastic. There's been no encounter I've ever had with Don Vappy that has not left me just thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. And then if you are still in the mood, as I am always, for traditional jazz, I would recommend, or at least I hope to see you, at Wendell Brunius. You know what I mean? He's going to be, he's performing at 12:45 at the Hilton Tricentennial stage. And I just think that there is no better example of the musical clans of New Orleans than the Brunius clan. You know what I mean? Trumpet players through every generation. I don't know what Christmas sounds like at their house because everybody's playing trumpet, you know?
Well, you know,
but
he can
he's
also
fantastic.
sing. It's funny. People
yes.
think of him just being a trumpeter, but you know, he's got this really easygoing, pleasant way about him, and he has a nice voice too.
Yes, the ladies love Wendell Brunius.
Yes.
I don't know how the gentlemen feel.
Charisma, baby.
It's amazing.
It really is. I mean, it's true. It's like when you are in Wendell Brunius's hands, and I do mean that professionally. You have no worries. You have no other worries in the world. So I would recommend these. You know, what I mean, these bands. At least I'm going to go and see them, and I hope to see you all there.
We should remind everybody for our new New Orleanians, this is all free.
Absolutely
Not the food.
free.
That is at a minimal cost, but this is all free music and set primarily in the quarter.
Yes.
Okay. And originally constructed many moons ago, right before the the World's Fair, I should
Yes.
say, to try to please the locals because they had to tear up the French Quarter and they were doing a lot of repaving. And so this was a way of saying, please come back and enjoy ourselves. So that's sort of the genesis of the French Quarter Festival. But it sounds like some great combinations here. Thank you.
Absolutely, and it makes you feel proud to be a New Orleanian because there's so much wonderful local talent.
Absolutely.
And you know, and we have lots of opportunities to see it every weekend. But at the festival, it's all there together.
Now you're a busy bee because you're going to be interviewing somebody this week, huh?
Yes, actually, let's see, we're interviewing.
You've got Jake Shears coming up.
That's right.
Actually,
I certainly
it's
am.
not this week, but next
You know
week. On the
everything.
18th.
Yeah.
We got a plug.
You know
But
everything.
that's going to be so much fun.
Yes, that's going to be at Garden
Garden
District
District?
Books,
Yeah,
and
on
I'm
the
really
18th.
looking forward to that. Jake
And
Shears
that's
is a
free
wonderful
too.
performer.
You can buy the
Absolutely
book, of course.
free.
But 6 o'clock, at Garden District. But well, that's one of your favorite things to do interviews. So there you are.
That's right, and you know, and I don't know if you're interested in listening to the radio this weekend, but you can certainly do that because we do a wonderful show on Louis Armstrong, the Louis Armstrong Archive in Queens, New York, and that might put you in the mood for French Quarter Festival.
So Music Inside Out. Thank you, Ms. Gwen.
Thank
Always
you.
Great to have you. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Philip Walther, hello Philip Walther, gave us the names of the 2 celebrity women that have French Quarter Easter parades named after them. The first, Jermaine Wells, and the other, of course, is the wonderful Chris Owens. Now, tonight's question. Though often referred to as simply Iberville and Bienville, what was the family name of the 2 brothers, and what were their first names? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a dish towel with the message "Love is Jambalaya" from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. By the way, the Cool Zoo and the Lazy River at the Audubon Zoo will be opening starting this Saturday. Check the zoo's website for details, and you can go to wyes.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including a Chris Champagne comedy show this Saturday, a free concert at Lafreniere Park, that's next Thursday, and an upcoming fundraiser at City Park's Equest Farms. You can also link to our WYS YouTube channel to see our program. And you know, before there was jazz, there was something called ragtime, a national phenomena, but also right here in our city is a precursor to the development of jazz. Tonya Echo, founder of the New Orleans Ragtime Festival that's this weekend, stopped by our studio earlier and brought along some very special musical guests. We all know that New Orleans is, of course, the birthplace of jazz, but we can't forget ragtime, which is really a precursor to the early years of jazz. I'm with Tonya here, and Tonya obviously feels this way too, how important it is, because she started the New Orleans Ragtime Festival. Tonya, tell us about your efforts. Third year now?
That's correct, 3rd year, New Orleans Ragtime Festival. We started in 2016 as a dry run to see how it would go, and the musicians and the people that showed their support for this.
What a lineup. You've got New Orleans Ragtime Orchestra, Orange Kellens, Steve Pistorius, who will be meeting in just a moment. You've got a lot of great musicians. You're at Rock and Bowl with New Leviathan tomorrow afternoon, which is a great time for folks. And you're at the Mint, the New Orleans Jazz Museum at the Mint, and at Southport Hall, too. Who's programming all of this?
That would be me.
That would be you. Okay. All right, so you're a girl around town.
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Did you grow up with the music, or how did you get interested?
I did not grow up with the music. Actually, I knew nothing about ragtime, honestly, until in the 80s when I saw The Sting. And that was the first time I ever heard any ragtime music. But more recently, in 2016, I have a friend who's a musician that brought it to my attention that there was no ragtime festival here. There's Jazz Fest, there's Chicken Fest, there's Blues Fest, there's all these festivals. So I went ahead and started that.
And the website.
Website is www.theneworleansragtimefestival.com.
Well, we are so glad that you got inspired by your friend and that you saw the sting too. And we have a performance tonight, and we want to introduce you to our performers. So we're going to turn around, and who do we have first?
I'm Steve Pistorius.
Great, of course, pianist here.
Taylor Kent.
Orange Cannon.
Orange County.
Tom Fisher.
Wow.
Mary Jennings, San Diego.
Harry Eisner, also San Diego.
Susie Reiser, Denver.
Kurt Reiser, Denver, Colorado.
Corrine from California.
Ralph McDonald from New Orleans.
From New Orleans. I see him dancing at the Jazz Fest every year. It's a staple. We're going to hear the Climax Rag, 1909, James Scott, and Tony and I are going to get out of the way and let them begin. Take it away, Steve. Thank you. Just a reminder, the third annual New Orleans Ragtime Festival will be going on till April 9th. And visit the website, the festival's website, to see the schedule. But it's all this weekend. Just lots of great things. Now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. And tonight we are showcasing, wow, artwork from MS Rao Antiques, their new exhibition. This is Bronze Spinner by Carl Kalba. And here is Carnival and Lent, perfect, by Peter Bruegel the Younger. What a masterpiece. Wow. They also have a cross and ring that belong to Pope Paul VI. It's amazing. These and other priceless works of art are part of Vice and Virtue, an exhibition of sex, saints, and sin from April 7th to June the 9th at, once again, MS Rao Antiques on Royal Street. Visit RaoAntiques.com for more information. Now, Jose, the mild-mannered Jose.
Yeah, I wake up like this.
You do. I'm sure it doesn't take any preparation, right?
It doesn't. It's just, I walk around like this all the time.
Well, congrats to you, because I know you perform all over the place, all over the country, but you were based here. But you're going to be at New Orleans Museum of Art this weekend.
Erin Greenwald reached out to us actually in the fall. Two of her members had seen the Taco Truck Theater at the Art Garage, and Teatro Sinfronteras is the Spanish title, and it's Theater Without Borders, and it's a performance ritual with an incredible ensemble. A lot of people know me as a solo performance artist, but we have an ensemble, and this is driven by music. We have Spirit McIntyre, who's an amazing cellist and performer and poet. Spirit plays the cello and offers songs, and it's just quite engaging. And then you have Roberto Carrillo, who is on indigenous instruments, panpipes, zampoñas, and cajon, and he performs with us, and it's a bilingual performance piece. And we have our latest new member, Cristina La Sirena Latina Maria Blanco. She's a siren, and it's brilliant because she's Cuban and Puerto Rican, and she speaks within her piece, she speaks to the abandonment of Puerto Rico that just happened under this administration in relationship to the apocalyptic abandonment of New Orleans, as you know. So the piece, very dramatic, very moving, but our major logo is, no guacamole for immigrant haters, right?
So you're of course, conveying different points of view
Yes.
and what's going on these days.
And we're challenging that anti-immigrant hysteria because, our motto is also no human being is illegal. And we align with Black Lives Matter because we look at that parallel dehumanization of black and brown people, with the ubiquitous police shootings that are happening. So we also honor the Congress of Day Laborers here, the Congreso de Jornaleros, the immigrant activist group that is doing a lot. And
we
right
help
now,
rebuild New Orleans
yes,
after the
they rebuild
storm.
New Orleans.
We
Yes,
must
so
never forget that.
we must never forget that.
No.
And that's what's been challenging sometimes in the tricentennial is this idea that we've been sort of disappeared within the programs, right? So we honor that. And right now there's an actual immigrant. His name is Jose Torres, and he's El Salvadorian. He's taken refuge at the church at First Grace United Methodist. He's the first one in Louisiana that has taken refuge, and it's received a lot of national news. So, again...
So this is in the sculpture garden.
This is in the sculpture garden, right. So Erin reached out to me, and it's in alignment with Carlos Rolón exhibit of Puerto Rican artists there that also does national work and dealing with the migration issue, right? So people can come, and at 6 p.m., an hour before each show, the Sunday show is going to be a 2 p.m. matinee, and an hour before that, you can come and get the food from the pop-up vendors. We're going to have La Cubana from Casa Borrega, and we're going to have La Cocinita Cubana as well.
So you've got Saturday and Sunday
Yes.
performances? Okay.
Actually, Sunday.
Sunday.
And Sunday.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so they can go to noma.org for all the details as
Yes.
well. But you're also, I know, as I said, I know you're based here, but you're also performing around the country.
Yes, this
constantly.
is the kickoff. This is the kickoff of our tour because we're on our way to Minneapolis. TacoTruckTheater.com is our own new website, and we're going to be performing at Pangea World Theater on May 4th and 5th there, and that's going to be really quite amazing. Absolutely. And there, what we do with we bring part of the group, and there we engage with other performers and poets. So we deal how the immigration issue deals in the situation of Minneapolis.
Jose, I know also you were a visual artist.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just theater. it's a lot more, isn't it?
Well, I was trained as a visual artist. I grew up in New York, so I studied at the Art Students League, and I had a fortune to study with Robert Beverly Hale, an amazing artist. And as you may know, the Ogden Museum has some of my pieces in their collection and the book on New Orleans Free People of Color.
Yes.
But we're grateful because here we are presenting the Taco Truck Theater at the New Orleans Museum of Art. And, right there in front of the Best of Sculpture Garden, we have the outdoor stage. We have the pop-up food vendors, and we have a performance ritual that engages you. It's not non-theatrical.
I mean, there's some serious moments, of course, but you can also have fun.
Yes, it's moving, it's comedic, but it's outdoors, right? It's inspired by Teatro Campesino and Luis Valdez to be able to bring these people's stories to the street. As you know, I have a background in street theater, and I love this idea, and I wanted to make sure that there would be food and theater, so it's like a radical outdoor dinner theater.
We were talking about the French Quarter Festival and how it was constructed in time for the World's Fair, but this went around when you came to New Orleans.
I came to New Orleans January 11th, 1984. And I have that ingrained in my memory because this is the city where I have found and cultivated all of my voices.
And where did you come from?
From New York. I came right after school, right after college.
A choice was made.
Yeah, well, I had opened, I knew nothing about jazz, and I had an encyclopedia, The World, my mom had bought me, right? So it was an area on the south. Literally, I opened it up, and I'm telling you, it's like Petition to Elewa. They were bringing me, there's a picture of the French Quarter right there. I just pick it up, and boom, there's a picture of St. Peter's and Royal. And I saw the architecture, and I had just been in Spain because I was interested in architecture. I said, okay, that's where I'm going.
I love it. So once again, TacoTruckTheater.com.
The performance this Sunday, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. for people to get the food.
Come and eat first. Yeah, absolutely. Great to see you as always. And time for our picks of the week. Miss Gwen.
Okay, speaking of art on the street art actually, my pick of the week is going to be Doreen Ketchens, the clarinetist who most people know from her busking performances in the French Quarter, actually. Right, tomorrow night on Saturday night, she's going to be at the Jazz and Heritage Festival Foundation performance space, you know what I mean, on Rampart Street. It's going to be a free concert. It's going to be fantastic. She is wonderful. She's just coming off of a great performance at St. Louis Cathedral, you know what I mean, with the LPO. And that was during Holy Week. And so she's going to be there, and there are going to be 2 shows, one at 8 and another at 9:30. So I'm definitely going to make it over there, and I hope to see you there, Peggy. I hope to see you there if you're not working too hard on your trucks.
Absolutely. Tomorrow at the Audubon Zoo, it's the Asian Heritage Festival. So if you are an Asian culture and food lover like me, there's going to be lots to eat.
How's that?
So just wanted to mention that I forgot to mention Darius and Diego Torres Copeland, who are also part of our ensemble. My 2 boys, they perform a bilingual hip-hop poem called No Human Being is Illegal, and it's an intergenerational project. But tomorrow on Saturday, there's a fabulous project being put together by Dr. Fari Nzinga, a good friend of mine, and she's putting together a project that's both a performance event and exhibition called The Rent is Too Damn High.
And where is that?
And that's going to be at 3101 Irado Street at the Crescent City Boxing Gym, and includes a number of really amazing African American artists. 6 to 9 p.m. is the opening reception. You can go to thecolorblock.com to find out information.
All right, thank you, Jose. And now time for my picks. Remember that the Friends of the Jefferson Library's big book sale is this weekend. Admission is free, and there's a ton of books. There's also free parking available at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner. Authors Karen Kingsley and Blake Douglas will be signing their brand new book, Buildings of New Orleans. Very important book. Tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. at Garden District Bookshop right there at the Rinco Britannia. The Julia Art Society prevents art al fresco, and that's tomorrow evening from 4 to 8 p.m. on Julia Road. There'll be gallery openings and artists at work all along Julia Street. The New Leviathan's very busy, I'm telling you, tomorrow, because they've got that afternoon performance at Rocket Bowl. But this is later on from 5 to 7. New Leviathan, Oriental Foxtrot Orchestra, all on Julia Road, Julia Street. Looking ahead, the Historic New Orleans Collection's 19th annual Bill Russell Lecture, who's very missed, wonderful jazz historian, of course. That lecture is on the life and music of jazz legend, clarinetist George Lewis. Dr. Michael White will be conducting it with his band, and it's next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the HNOC's William Research Center. Visit hnoc.org to reserve your ticket. And special thanks to WWL-TV for the use of the footage of the Stella contest last week. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.